Good evening, welcome back to Near Post Flick On. Right, so the game of the weekend has ended between Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea took on Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, so of course they had the home advantage, and the game ended 2-1 to Chelsea. And the reason why it was a massive, well, it's a massive game is Liverpool Chelsea, so it's always going to be a massive game. But I think the onus was more on Liverpool to pull out a performance today. But they didn't. They didn't pull out a performance today. So I was quite surprised. I don't know what's going on with Liverpool, but yeah, credit to Chelsea because they stuck out their game plan. You have to remember that's a Chelsea side with a lot of injuries, a Chelsea side with a lot of injuries, with a lot of players out. Key players like, of course, the obvious Cole Palmer, who's injured at the moment. So I thought they would probably struggle going forward, but they didn't. They were full of attacking flair, and they created a lot of chances. They created more chances than Liverpool. To be fair, they created a lot more chances than Liverpool, and I thought Liverpool would bounce back. I thought Liverpool would bounce back, given the fact that Arsenal won their game earlier. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, Liverpool will bounce back just to put some pressure on Arsenal. And at this, it's early days yet. There's still about 30 odd games left to go in the season, and anything can happen. We're not even at Christmas yet. But however, this season is going to be so tight. I predicted that Liverpool would win the Premier League, but I haven't been convinced in the past few games. I mean, this is Liverpool's third defeat already this season. I mean, they suffered a defeat to Crystal Palace last week. Again, nobody would have predicted that, but you might speak to some Liverpool fans and they may say, Palace are becoming like a bogey team for them. So they lost to Crystal Palace last week. They lost to Galatasaray, I think. I think they lost to Galatasaray in the Champions League midweek, and then now they've now lost to Chelsea. So that's three defeats on the bounce. Three defeats on the bounce for Liverpool. So I don't know what the hell is going on over at Liverpool, but with the acquisitions that they've made this season and with the players they've brought in, your Isaks and your Verts, your Ekatikes, I would be expecting a lot more from Liverpool. They've got the players and they've got the squad. So is it a case of the players are not gelling and what have you? But you know what? I don't want to make excuses for Liverpool. I just believe, you're the champions. And I've said, with the squad that Liverpool have, they can go on to win the Premier League for the next 3 seasons. But, however, you've got to look at certain factors. Yes, they've brought in new players, but it seems as though those players are going to need some time to gel and some time to kind of hit the ground running or, get used to the pace of the Premier League. Because at the moment, if they don't get their act together, they're literally going to hand the title over. And dare I say, they're going to hand the title over to Arsenal. They're going to hand the title over to Arsenal, and I'm sure Arsenal supporters would have been happy with the result at Stamford Bridge today. They'll look at it and say, yeah, Chelsea's done us a massive favour. Again, there's only 7 games played so far. However, these are important matches and you've got to take your chances early. You've got to accumulate points early because let's say you go on a run and you win, I don't know, 10 games on a bounce, you give yourself that leverage. You give yourself that leverage. So, but again, it's not over. It's only 7 games in. It's not over. But there are certain games that you need to win, and you need to start playing well and putting games together. But this Liverpool side haven't been overly convincing. Let's be honest. They haven't been overly convincing. So I don't know what the hell is going on with Liverpool, but all I do know is that they need to get their act together. They need to get their act together, and they need to get their act together very, very quickly. Isak doesn't look like he's getting a lot of. He's not getting fed. As a striker, you want to be given a lot of chances to prove and show what you can do. But you have to give him time. You've got to give him time. Ekatike as well. For now, I'll probably play two up front. Why not play Isak and Ekatike up front? Why not take that gamble as opposed to just playing the one man up front? Play two strikers up front. Take a bit of a gamble. But as I say, Liverpool have a lot to do if they're going to defend their crown. They've got a lot to do because I'm sure City are going to win their game tomorrow as well. I'm sure they're going to win their game tomorrow. So it's going to be very, very, very close this year. I don't think they'll run away with it. Initially, on paper, I thought, you know what, Liverpool have the best squad out of the competition. They've got a better squad, a stronger squad than Arsenal, stronger squad than Man City, Chelsea, and what have you. But it's just not happening on the pitch. And again, you've got to look at certain individuals as well. You've as well as looking at the new players and the new talent that the manager has brought in. You've got to look at some of their existing players and look at that dynamic. I mean, there's a lot of reliance on Salah, but he seems to have lost a yard. And that's not because he's just all of a sudden taking a dip. You have to remember that he's getting older. Salah's getting older, and unfortunately for him, he seems to have lost a bit of pace. Even today, watching him in the game, didn't really seem too involved. I didn't really see that much from Salah. I didn't see that much from Salah. So he's going to have to step it up a bit as well. And I think collectively, everyone's going to have to contribute if they want to defend their title. Because if they don't, I can see Arsenal winning the league, dare I say. I can see City, and maybe Tottenham might just do something. Who knows? Who knows? But certainly though, Liverpool have to switch on. Otherwise, this could end up being a disaster for them. A season whereby they've spent a lot of money on new players. Those new players have to perform. You have to perform at the highest level. And if this squad of players want to be remembered for being great and being a great assembled squad and a great assembled team, they need to win games. They need to win these matches. You need to go away to Stamford Bridge and get a result. You need to go away to Palace and get a result. But it is what it is. It's still plenty of games to go this season. So it's a long season. There's still plenty of games to go, but they need to start, switching on and doing something. As far as Chelsea are concerned, they haven't had the best start either, but they are getting some results. And this is a massive win for Chelsea. So I'm sure, the Chelsea supporters and the fans alike will be extremely, extremely delighted with this victory, with this win, because they're beating the champions. So it bodes well for Chelsea as far as the future looks. But, there are one or two concerns for Chelsea as well, because even in their front line, when you look at João Pedro, now in pre-season, he was phenomenal. I thought, you know what? Going into the season, this guy is going to dominate, but he hasn't. He hasn't, has he? He's been quiet. And he was nowhere to be seen again today. He had a very, very quiet game. I really didn't see any contributions from him. Yes, he may have made one or two runs and what have you, but that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Because I said he was a better player than Nicholas Jackson. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. You Chelsea fans, you tell me. Maybe I was wrong. But yeah, great goal from Caicedo. Great late winner from who are they calling the Brazilian wonder kid, Estavio. Great finish. Great finish. So it's a great look for Chelsea. They're doing well. Liverpool, you've got to step it up, but we'll see how it goes. It's a long season. It is what it is. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.